January 3rd, 2026. Around 2 a.m. inside a dark, heavily curtained room in Florida, only the glow of screens lit the space. In front of those screens sat the most powerful man in the world, the President of the United States. This was not entertainment. This was not a movie. What he was watching was real, unfolding live, thousands of miles away. The target was a house in Caracas, the capital of Venezuela. Inside that house, President Nicolas Maduro was asleep, completely unaware that his life was about to change within minutes. American helicopters skimmed the ocean at barely 100 feet above the surface, flying so low they avoided radar detection. Earlier, a cyber operation had cut power across Caracas. The city was plunged into darkness. Most people had no idea anything was happening. As the helicopters reached their destination, elite American commandos descended using ropes, landing directly on the roof of Maduro's residence. They moved silently, entering through a window, step by step, leaving no time for alarms or warnings. Maduro woke up to the sound of intruders. Realizing what was happening, he ran toward his steel-reinforced safe room. It was his last line of defense. But before he could secure the door, the soldiers reached him. Within 5 minutes of entering the building, the President of Venezuela was in custody. Back in Florida, the operation played out on screens in real time. Later, the U.S. President would describe it as feeling like watching television, but this was not a show. It was one of the most shocking military operations of the modern era. By morning, the world was stunned. News channels broke the story. The elected president of a sovereign nation had been captured from his own home by a foreign military force. Governments, analysts, and citizens everywhere asked the same questions. Why did America do this? And if this was possible, was any world leader truly safe anymore? This operation was not improvised. Planning had begun months earlier. Intelligence teams had quietly entered Venezuela, tracking Maduro's movements, routines, and security arrangements. Every detail was studied, every weakness noted. The mission moved forward only when the conditions were deemed perfect. In late December, final approval was given. Over 150 military aircraft were placed on standby. Fighter jets, drones, cyber units, and naval forces surrounded Venezuelan airspace. When the order was issued, power grids were disabled. Air defenses were destroyed, and the sky was cleared for infiltration. The cost was deadly. Dozens of people lost their lives during the strikes that made the operation possible. Yet the mission continued without pause. Maduro was airlifted out of the country, taken first to a U.S. naval vessel, then transferred to American custody. Soon after, images surfaced of a sitting president in chains on foreign soil. The message was unmistakable. The official justification was drug trafficking. U.S. authorities claimed Maduro was involved in international narcotics operations. But experts quickly raised doubts. Venezuela is not a major drug-producing nation. Most cocaine entering the United States does not come through Venezuela at all. The deadliest drug crisis in America today is driven by fentanyl, a substance with no known connection to Venezuela. So the question remained, why Venezuela? The answer many pointed to was oil. Venezuela holds the largest proven oil reserves on Earth. For decades, its heavy crude has been vital to certain refineries. When Venezuela took control of its own resources and restricted foreign access, tensions escalated. Sanctions followed, pressure mounted. And when control could not be regained through diplomacy, force replaced dialogue. International reaction was swift. Multiple countries condemned the operation, calling it a dangerous violation of sovereignty and international law. The United Nations stated clearly that such actions undermine the rules-based global order. Yet accountability remained unlikely, as the very system meant to enforce international law was blocked by power and vetoes. Legal experts in the United States also raised alarms. Under American law, large-scale military action requires congressional approval. That approval was never granted. The administration insisted this was not a war but a law enforcement action. Critics questioned how an operation involving airstrikes, cyber warfare, and hundreds of military assets could possibly be described that way. The implications go far beyond Venezuela. If one powerful nation can remove the leader of another by force, what stops others from doing the same? If rules apply only to the weak, then global stability itself is at risk. Whether Nicolas Maduro was a good leader or a bad one is a separate debate. Whether he oppressed his people is another discussion entirely. But kidnapping the elected president of a sovereign nation in the middle of the night without international process, in pursuit of strategic interests, is not justice. It is a warning. A warning that power, when unchecked, does not follow rules, and that the world may be entering an era where might decides right.